because no is not a final answer. We need to have the mentality that no means find another way. No means try again. No means look somewhere else. No does not mean stop trying. Okay?
Well, please get down on the ground.
I think men forget that while one man's trash is another man's treasure, one woman's trash is every woman's trash. So shape up.
Clearing the air right away. When men are talking about trash, in that context, we're talking about cars, currency, homes, not women. When it comes to chicks, well, the stats speak for themselves, don't they? That said, when it comes to women hitting the wall, there are far more examples than what happened in the election cycle where they just don't make any sense. It's as if they've been under a literal rock this whole time, and then all of a sudden they came back to the surface and had to relearn the English language. And the thing is, we all knew this already. When the milk passed its prime, rational civilization understood that listening, or God forbid taking advice from these modern women would always lead to disaster.
Let me ask you a serious question for a second. If your baby mother doesn't want to be with you, why would I?
She a little baby Steve Urkel.
Ladies, a reminder. You're not his mother. You're not his therapist. You're not his accountant. You're not his headhunter. And you're not his manager. Doing things for your partner is not going to make him stay.
Boys, a reminder. You're not her father. You're not her wallet. You're not her mechanic. You're not her servant. See, we can do it too. Again, as if it needs to even be said, never listen to a woman hitting the wall. They're insane. From the hormone swings to the 30-year midlife crisis that comes with it, it's like having to adopt a toddler with some kind of developmental error. And while this should be an obvious response to these chicks, in the feminist world, they look at it in the opposite way. They see these modern women as oracles, philosophers, and life guides, even though their greatest accomplishment is managing to fill their drawers with lip gloss and toys from the nearest CVS. Don't believe us? Just take a look at this gym. Perimenopausal women are enraged and no longer keeping quiet.
I liked it more when you were quiet.
Samantha Bee was 47 years old when she found herself sobbing at the doctor's office. The comedian and former primetime talk show host went in for her annual appointment, but burst into tears after her gynecologist asked how she was doing. I was like, I never sleep. I get my cycle every 8 days. I don't know what is going on with my body. My job is so hard. B, now 55, recalled in a phone call.
You probably shouldn't even have the job.
She had been suffering for over a year, she admitted. B, who debuted her limited-run off-Broadway show How to Survive Menopause in New York City this October, said she'd been scared she was losing her mind. I was like, something terrible is happening to me. But the doctor offered another explanation. She was like, hold the phone, B said. How old are you? Oh, honey, you're in perimenopause.
I could have told you that.
Perimenopause, the time leading up to menopause, has recently entered pop culture with the ferocity of a hot flash. That's when hormone fluctuations can trigger heart palpitations and night sweats, vasomotor symptoms, in doctor speak, mood swings, and memory lapses. Yes, women have long been told, however vaguely and inadequately, about menopause, but the turbulent trip to get there, nobody really prepared them for that shock. And now they're looking for answers anywhere they can get them. Google Trends data shows that searches for perimenopause started rising in late 2022 and jumped up again in early 2024, with no sign of slowing down.
You were lied to, Benedict.
Other celebrities preaching from the perimenopause pulpit included Drew Barrymore, 49, and Gwyneth Paltrow, 52, who has been noodling on the once-shrouded life transition with their buy-in of her well-heeled goopies. Two high-profile Naomis have shared details about their symptoms. Naomi Campbell, 54, feigned herself when a hot flash hit on camera in the Apple TV docuseries The Supermodels. This is all about to go off the deep end here. But here's why this matters, and it has little to do with women's health. The United States Congress, for example, is 30% female. That means that almost a third of the people making decisions that affect an entire country and much of the developing world have these, quote, heart palpitations and night sweats, vasomotor symptoms, in doctor speak, mood swings, and memory lapses. If you took any identity out of the equation and just put this candidate's description on paper, would anyone in their right mind think of voting for it? Hell no, not in a million years. These very descriptions are indicators of cognitive disabilities. And just because the female power label is pasted over it, we're just expected to say, sure, determine taxes, make policy, and propose legislation that will directly affect my future. This is the real story, and it ain't pretty.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
How does it feel to be 38?
I'm single, not married, I don't have any kids.
What's the reason you're single?
I'm pretty picky and I don't want to settle in life. Dated a lot of great people, but the right person just hasn't come along for me yet.
What is something you thought was really important when you were younger, but as you got older, you realized it wasn't that important?
I feel like a person's always wanting the best career, buy a house. Then you get to a point in life where you realize a lot of those things really aren't that important, and I think it's just the simple things in life.
What are the simple things that really matter?
I think it's family, relationships, being able to spend that quality time with people rather than sitting in an office building. I think it's worth not having as much, living on less and enjoying life more.
So if you could go back in time and have a conversation with your younger self, what would you tell her?
I would say that life is just how it's supposed to be, and every twist and turn is the path that God has had you on. And so don't look back and regret, and don't be sad about the things that didn't happen, because there's a lot of life to look forward to.
True, but a little late, don't you think?
A lot of women now, it's easier to go with the trend of like, I don't need no man. I'm fine being independent. And I'll be the first to say like, no, I would like someone to make sure that my windshield wipers are good. I would like for someone to be able to change my oil. I would like for someone to be able to provide. I get it. I'm sure they would like a more feminine woman. And I have to learn how to let go of that masculinity a little bit. Because I don't know how to let go of control. And I think that's the problem with a lot of women.
And as they get older, it just gets worse. Feminists today like to act like these women hitting the wall or just straight up breaking through it were taken out of the limelight for some kind of selfish purpose, when the truth is men were honestly just doing these chicks a favor. After a certain point, anything beyond household duties is enough to fry the female CPU. Sure, maybe some can manage a few extra things before 30, but when the alarm bell rings, all bets are off. They become a kind of mad queen, making absurd demands and burning bridges because they were just feeling off one day. These chicks can barely manage to keep the living room together, let alone participate as public leaders, but the system keeps encouraging them to participate.
Madness.
The dawn of the perimenopausal woman has arrived, and with it, a flood of creativity. In May, Miranda July published her best-selling novel, All Fours, in which a 45-year-old semi-famous artist finds herself on the edge of a hormonal cliff and jumps, leaving the comfortable shores of domestic life. The New York Times called it the first great perimenopause novel. Before we go any further, let's define our terms. Menopause is a catch-all word, but technically it describes just one day, a year after a woman's final period. After that, the person is considered postmenopausal, but it's perimenopause, the stage before menopause that can last anywhere from 2 to 8 years when things tend to get hairy.
Disgusting. Ugh.
Perimenopause, which begins on average at age 47, is when women are the most symptomatic, said Mary Jane Minkin, a gynecologist who has been practicing and teaching at the Yale School of Medicine for more than 4 decades. The problem is, in perimenopause, estrogen levels fluctuate all over the place, Minkin explained. It's tough, it's hard, and it drives people crazy.
Think I haven't noticed?
These women suffered through their perimenopausal symptoms while their daughters watched. Now, 20 years later, those daughters are fumbling toward middle age themselves, and they want answers. I actually predicted this would happen, Minkin said. Since 2002, she explained, the vast majority of doctors and nurses haven't received good quality menopause education. The difference is that now, their Gen X and millennial patients won't stand for it. Phew, I swear to God, like the 4B shit and everything else, women always feel the need to make bodily functions heroic. Ladies, it's a life cycle, not a climb up Everest. You could literally lay in bed for 30 years, and this is a fate that will fall on all of your laps. Moreover, we all know that you're going crazy. This has been widespread knowledge for centuries. The only difference is now that you're spinning it into a story of victimhood and asking that the world just understands this and slow down so that you could catch up, which, let's be honest, will never happen. And how do we know this? Well, you tried to put one in arguably the highest office of the Western world, and the second everyone discovered that she could barely form a sentence, you fumbled. And let's also not pretend like the insanity comes later. It has always been there.
I asked her. Stop.
Jesus Christ.
What does a day in a life look like for you?
So I wake up every day at 2:45.
I don't know if you're getting the message yet, ladies, so let me spell it out for you. Men never lied about your mental lapse, or why it wouldn't be good for the West for you to enter positions of power. You did that. You lied to yourselves, like this woman claiming that she starts her days at 3 a.m. You're delusional. The only difference now is that you're asking for people to be proud of these delusions, to support your role in society beyond the home. And that's insane.
Clinically insane.
Just like with #MeToo, the watershed moment was situated in the strange topography of social media, according to Hirsch. It was definitely part of the pandemic, she remembered. Women were starting to share their stories on TikTok and Instagram and be vulnerable. The #menopause now has 2 million posts on Instagram, and women were really galvanized and came together and were like, yeah, what the F, said Hirsch, who has parlayed her own social media footprint, almost 80,000 followers on Instagram and 148,000 on TikTok, into a private, cash-pay telehealth practice. She said the refrain has been consistent across patients and women's health influencers. Why is everyone gaslighting us?
What the hell are you talking about?
And that's how Anu Benson felt when, starting in her late 40s, she experienced a rapid decline in her physical and mental health. The normally active, hard-working mother of two noticed a number of unsettling changes, all at once. New belly fat, problems concentrating, irritability, itchy skin, and intense sweating, among other symptoms. Benson, who lives in Lagos, Nigeria, and is 52, sought medical help a number of times, but nobody could give her an answer. She said, "That was scary, really very frightening. I thought I was going to die, really, or that I was going crazy." You are going crazy. Ladies, the only reason you live longer than men is that you are a protected class. Men created such a perfect society that you are able to walk to Starbucks, go on your phone, and complain about nothing. It's not our fault that you passed your prime far earlier than us. That's just how it works. And that doesn't suddenly mean that we are obligated to vote for you, allow you to make key decisions, or, and this might hurt, actually listen to what you have to say.
What's better than one cover girl? Two cover girls.
Crews are on the scene of a plane crash near Dallas Executive Airport.
Statistics are saying by 2050, everybody's going to be single. Marriage is going to be non-existent.
You can't find your man. He go find you by your attributes. You can't be out looking to find no man. You just have to be a woman of essence, a woman with qualities and a woman with traits, and you'll stand out. He go find you. Grocery store, the red light, but you can't find him. You don't know how to pick a man. It was never designed for a woman to pick her man.
That is true.
And not to be religious or anything, but I can't get past he who finds. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and has favor from God. So you are favor for a man. But if you ain't where you need to be as a woman, how you gonna get what you need? This is what I've been realizing for the new age woman. She wanna be the man rather than being a better version of a woman. She wanna be like the man. I wanna think like a man but act like a lady. That's impossible because your thinking is what dictates your actions and your behavior.
And I gotta say, ladies, for people like you, it's already too late. For men, the clock doesn't run out until the Reaper calls. We have all of the options in the world, and we have the mental fortitude to complete meaningful goals. You guys can go on this quest to understand yourselves. Nobody really cares. But don't expect men to look at you as a potential wife or candidate, even when the science proves that you are on the decline. Should have thought about the future, because now you're stuck with your past. Sorry, not sorry. And if you made it to this point in the video, I want to say I appreciate you, so please don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment to have a chance to win, and hit that sub button for daily videos. And if you could take a quick sec to subscribe to the second channel, Man Guide Reacts, link is down below in the description so we can be sure that our message will keep on reaching the new men out there. I appreciate all the support, y'all, and I want to wish you all tremendous success.